This dock is very lightweight, coming in at only about 4.2 ounces. And the dock has a very simple design with that official Steam Deck logo right on top. Otherwise, it looks very plain and simple. It does have this rubberized portion right here that's gonna help to prevent your Steam Deck from sliding. And as far as the dimensions of the dock, it is 4.6 inches by 1.1 inch by 1.9 inches. And here's a quick look at the side view of the dock. All right, so let's go ahead and try the Steam Deck right on the dock and see how it goes. And it fits perfectly. It does give you a nice like 60-degree angle so you can see the screen perfectly if you're standing up and away from the dock. And let's go ahead and try connecting the USB-C cable to the Steam Deck, and it connects just like that very easily. So there we have it, the Steam Deck sitting right on the dock, and here is a view of it from the back. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and connect the official dock and the Steam Deck to my LG OLED TV along with some peripherals and give it a try and let you guys know what I think of the official dock for the Steam Deck. All right, just to give you guys an idea of what I'll be connecting to the official dock as far as peripherals go, I'll be connecting this USB transceiver that's gonna give me functionality for the keyboard and mouse on my Steam Deck. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in right now. So there we go. Then I'm gonna be connecting my Asus ROG wireless headset, and I'm gonna use the dongle adapter here to connect it. And we're gonna go ahead and put this one in the vertical slot since it makes more sense there just the way it's built. And there we go. So far, this is what I got. Then I will be using the slimline Ethernet cable to connect to the Ethernet port here. And it'll look just like that. And I'll connect the other end to my gigabit switch and Wi-Fi router. Then of course, I'll be connecting the included power adapter right in the middle here, just like this. And finally, I'll be using the HDMI 2.0 port to connect up my LG OLED 4K TV. And since I'll be sitting on the couch, I'll be connecting this Scuff Reflex controller through Bluetooth directly to my Steam Deck so I can play my games that way. All right, let's go connect it up to my 4K OLED TV and take a look. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and connect the Steam Deck to the official dock and see how it goes. All right, here we go. And I'm just gonna pop in the USB-C cable. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and change the input to HDMI 3 and nothing happened. So let's go ahead and exit out of the game. Seems like it's trying to display, but it can't. All right, guys, let's try this one more time with the official dock for the Steam Deck. Turns out that for me, the official dock didn't work out of the box. I kept getting this no signal message you see on my TV here. So I did need to do a few things to get my Steam Deck to work with the dock. So if you run into the same problem, you get no signal with the official Steam Deck dock, then go ahead and follow my instructional video here where I show you how to fix that issue. And you should see it pop out right now. Go ahead and click that and that will help you to get it working. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up now to the dock and give you my first impressions of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and connect the USB-C adapter cable to the Steam Deck, and we should see that the screen turns dark on the Steam Deck, and we should get an image on my TV, and there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and set up my peripherals so I can go ahead and try out a game and then give you guys my first impressions of it. So first of all, here's my keyboard and mouse. As you can see on the screen here, I can go ahead and use my mouse cursor and it works just fine. I didn't need to do any extra configuration. It just worked, which is great. And I can even use the scroll wheel, scroll up and down. I can also use the keyboard to go up and down. So the keyboard and the mouse is working. All right, now I'm gonna get my Scuff Reflex controller to work through Bluetooth, connected directly to my Steam Deck so that I can play my games while sitting on the couch. Okay, let's give it a try. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and press escape on my keyboard to access the Steam menu. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to settings. And then I'm gonna go to Bluetooth and it's searching for devices. I'm gonna go ahead and put my Scuff Reflex into pairing mode. So it's in pairing mode right now. And it should come up on the list right here. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and click it. And it is paired. Great, so I can now use my PS5 Scuff Reflex controller to play on the Steam Deck. Let's go ahead and check it out. And let's go ahead and play some Doom Eternal. All right, you get a quick little warning here about the external controller translation. Click OK. All right, I'm using the Asus ROG headset. And again, it worked fine without any configuration on the Steam Deck dock. So it just worked just by plugging in that little USB dongle. Now that I know that the headset works, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the headset just because I wanted you guys to be able to hear the sound as I'm playing the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. All right, and the graphics do not look very good at all. I'm gonna go ahead and try to configure that to make it look a little bit better. Change the aspect ratio to 16:9 native. And it looks like the highest I can go is 720p. So let's just stick with that. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply changes. And there we go, that looks much better. So let's go ahead and give it a try. All right, gameplay is very smooth. However, the graphics are not that great, especially since it's on a large TV such as this. It makes the graphics look not as good I'm gonna go ahead and try Horde mode, just to let you guys see some action. Wow, this is pretty crazy, you guys. The gameplay is very smooth. I'm not trying too hard here, I'm just trying to get a feel of it. All right, so that was Doom Eternal. That was pretty good. I'll probably play around with the settings a little bit later, get the graphics up and going a little bit better. Let's go ahead and try a racing game. All right, so let's go ahead and try a racing game with the Scuff Reflex and the Steam Deck. And I'm gonna go through the options and see if there's any changes we can make. So yes, it seems like 720p is the highest we can go. And I am using the HDMI cable from my PS5 here, so I should be able to go as high as possible. But it looks like 720p is my limit here. But anyway, let's get going and play. All right, so let's see how well the dock can handle playing this racing game on the TV. All right, so far very smooth. I'm getting no hiccups at all. It's just smooth sailing. It is night right now, so not able to see all the graphics all that great. But yeah, these are 720p graphics here we're looking at. But I think it still looks great, especially if you're kind of like far away, sitting on your couch and playing your game. I don't think you'll notice it too much, but it'll be nice to see the graphics look a little bit better than this, to be honest. All right, guys, so there you go. I tried out the official Steam Deck dock, and I got a bunch of peripherals working just right out of the box, which is really great. You know, I got the keyboard and mouse and the headset working just fine. I did pair this controller directly to the Steam Deck using Bluetooth, but overall, my experience with the official dock started out a little bit rocky, and I couldn't get it to work without updating a few things. And again, I will leave the link to that video on how to fix those issues if you get a no signal from your TV when you just initially connect the official Steam Deck dock. But yeah, here's my first impressions of it. Worked great as far as peripherals. I think the plug and play experience was a little bit rough and that I had to do some extra additional things just to get it working on my TV. As far as the graphics go, it was okay. I mean, if I do want to continue where I left off on my Steam Deck with my game, I can easily put it in the dock here and then just continue. But honestly, with these graphics, I'd rather play a game on my PS5 here. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the official Steam Deck dock. Okay, so apparently you can only get resolutions higher than 720p in desktop mode. So I'm gonna go ahead and change it to desktop mode, and then I'll give you guys an updated first impressions. So I'm gonna go over to power and switch to desktop. Okay, and I'm gonna go over to my Steam Deck here. All right, and you might need to do this. You go to settings and then you go to your display configuration and you have to go ahead and enable your TV there. So I'm going to do that with the mouse and hit apply, and we're going to go ahead and hit keep, and then I'm going to go ahead and rearrange it so they're mirrored. Okay, it's still not working. I'm going to go ahead, disconnect the USB-C adapter and then plug it back in. And there we go, that kind of did the trick. And then I'm gonna go ahead and change the refresh rate to 60 Hertz and then say it's a replica of the laptop screen, and then go ahead and hit apply. And then I'm gonna go ahead and say keep. And there we go. I'm just gonna restart it really quick. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and launch Steam. And we're gonna go ahead and launch Forza Horizon 4, and let's see what it looks like in 4K. All right, let's go ahead and change that resolution all the way up to 4K. I want to keep it at 60 FPS. And there we go. Actually looks pretty nice. All right, unfortunately, I can't use my controller. I couldn't figure out how to access the Bluetooth menu in desktop mode. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to use the keyboard and mouse. But at least we know that the settings are in 4K. And we can try it out just to see if it's laggy or not. All right, here we go. All right, I'm actually surprised. It's not bad. I mean, there's no skipping of any kind. It's pretty smooth. It's at 4K. You can totally tell the difference between gaming mode and desktop mode. Definitely should be playing desktop mode. Yeah, it looks very good, you guys. And the gameplay is also very smooth. So yeah, you guys, once I figure out how to get my controller to work in desktop mode, this definitely could be a lot of fun. I'm definitely a lot more excited now than when I tried it in gaming mode. I definitely would recommend this official dock for the Steam Deck because what I'm seeing looks very good and it's very smooth. So there it is. That's my updated first impressions. It looks great and plays great in desktop mode, so definitely use that instead of gaming mode. So that's kind of unfortunate that you have to switch to desktop mode in order to get 4K. Hopefully they fix this with a firmware update. That's one reason I picked the official Steam Deck dock, because they are going to be pushing out a lot of Steam Deck updates and they'll continually be improving it, and hopefully we can get all the settings in gaming mode that we do in desktop mode. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my unboxing video of the official Steam Deck dock and my first impressions. I'll see you guys in the next video.